now it had been 5 games in a row, like losses. Just like, what did it take? I guess. What did you find tonight to snap the streak?
We were aggressive. We kind of knew obviously what it take. Obviously, you want to get that done last game, but stuff happens. Nobody's perfect. It's a long season. You have ups and downs. We haven't had a moment where we lost 4 or 5 in a row in a long time. But again, we're not perfect, and it's how you respond. So I think we responded the right way, and now we got to carry over same energy efforts to Dallas and back here for OKC and so forth and so on. So just keeping that same energy, effort, and intensity along each game that we play.
You were plus 30, so like just what do you think? I mean, on both ends of the floor, was working so well for you?
Just going back to my style, my brand of basketball, just playing really hard, scoring the ball, rebounding, playing for my teammates, so forth and so on. I just think the last game, I rebounded well, but I didn't do all the things that I know I could do well all around, and I kind of came back today. I mean, obviously, I said nobody's perfect, but when you're in a position that I'm in, you kind of got to be not perfect, but better than not being good than not being good more times than not. So just getting back to myself, it's pretty solid performance, but I'd rather the performance I had today and we had today opposed to previous games. So I'll take it.
What does Bones do for you when he's rolling the way that he was tonight?
He takes a lot of pressure off of other guys. He can score the ball at will, ease. He's a leader in his own way. I mean, he talks, communicates. He's not going to take a play off. He's not going to tell you to do something if he's not going to do it. He makes sure he makes the right rotation. So it's the kind of guy we need on the bench mob. That's what we like to call it, the bench mob. So, I mean, just having a guy like Bones takes a lot of pressure off of each and every one of us. So,
are you guys, the two of you, taking on a lot of the, I guess, responsibility of just this bench needing to score a little bit more?
Yeah, you could say so. I mean, like I said, I could score, he could score. There's other guys who can score too. I mean, Mike's a little older, but he might be a little tired than other players at other times. But Mike is Mike. If you watch Mike, you know what he brings to the table. I mean, we got a lot of guys. Johan comes in, brings energy, whatever he could do. I mean, it's not about just scoring, but obviously with the way he plays and the way I play, there can be a lot of scoring.
Bones, what do you like about playing on the floor with Nas? Why do you think his game's fit?
I was talking to Nas on the bench. I'm like, my speed and my advantage are the pick and rolls. Like, if I'm getting downhill or you got a wide open shot, pick and pop. So I feel like that's such a threat, such an advantage, for us. It creates a different look from the first unit. So when they were coming in, we just want to provide a different spark, a different energy. I feel like that's stuff that you can't game plan for. You're not going to have 2 different game plans where you're game planning for and Julius, and then you got a game plan for the bench too. Like, hey, kudos to you if you do. So, I definitely was just talking to Nas on the bench, like, man, we just gonna stay in delay, and just try to be aggressive.
Now, is it nice to almost remind yourselves of the defensive team that you're supposed to be?
Yeah, for sure. As a start, obviously, no disrespect to them, but they didn't have Steph or Dre, but still, we gotta, especially with the urgency we had to have, we kind of had to make the step and make it in the right direction, and do what we're supposed to do. So definitely a good start. Like you said, Rudy is defensive player, 4-time defensive player of the year for a reason. And Jaden is defensive. He could be defensive player at any point in time. So those guys, they're the head of our horse, and we follow suit. So just having those, plays and on the defensive end to make stops, and obviously securing the rebounds are huge.
Why do you think it goes away sometimes? Just with all the defensive talent you guys have, why do you think that play drops?
It's a long season.
Yeah.
It's a long, especially right now. It's kind of the dog days of the NBA. I mean, that's for everybody. I mean, obviously you got to kind of find yourself and within the long season, because other teams could be rolling, other teams could not be. You know what I'm saying? We're in a situation where we just got to find ourselves again, and it's not foreign to no team. Everybody has to go through it, and if you don't, go kudos to you. But I think. This is, like I said, it's a long season, so just kind of trying to build on it again, and then try to just find yourself.
This was like the longest losing streak there's been in a few years.
Yeah, it is.
Was it kind of weird?
Yeah, it was. I mean, but to find ourselves again, it's a good feeling. It's like it's one of those things where it's like you need a win, and you finally find it. It's like it could start, whether it's a good win, bad win, ugly win, beautiful win, whatever the case may be. It could start a whole new, spell of games where you just go on a roll. So I mean, we play our best basketball. Sometimes we might play our worst basketball, but again, it's a long season, and you got to find it at the right times.
Also, the beauty of it, I feel like, is like, you win 3-4 games, you right back to 4. But you keep dropping them, you can go to 11. So I feel like that's definitely been on our brain before we came into tonight. It's like, man, like no matter what from here on out, man, let's just give it our all out there, man. Like play for one another. Whether it's going for you or not, just play for one another, and everything else will take care of itself. And I feel like that showed tonight for sure.
Nas, there's been a lot of hurt kind of in the city over the last month or so here, and I feel like you've had a pretty special relationship just with Minneapolis. Like, what is it about Minnesota and Minneapolis that kind of makes this community so special to play in?
Yeah, man, there's one love. I like to call it one love because it's like everybody's so supportive of each other. Man, they were supportive of me when I came in. They didn't know. Everybody knew who I was, and everybody was so supportive of how hard that I worked. So I can only imagine, what it looks like from the outside looking in. So I think, the support system is huge here, and it's always been love. Just speaking of myself at least. And then, just going in the outside world, and, it's always, people always dedicate themselves to one another. People always, they care for everyone. They show so much love. Being here for 7 years, I feel like this is home, away from home, So I've always felt love here. I think I want to try and give as much love as I can back to the city as much as possible. I try to do whatever I can.